Now to be introduced to some characters. Alistair. You know, one good thing about the Blade is how it brings people together. Alistair was a Novice Templar when Duncan recruited him into the Great Wardens, or rescued him, as Alistair would say. His mother was a servant girl who died when Alistair was very young. He was raised by Eamon Gurin, Earl of Redcliffe, for a time. Queen Honora. We have been given the gift of freedom by our forebears. Let us not squander it. The only child of the war hero Logain MacTair. Honora has never been one to stay quietly in the background. It is common knowledge that in the 5 years Honora and Callan held the throne together, she was the one wielding the power. She is held in much higher esteem than her husband by the people of Ferelden, nobility and commoners alike, and commands the respect even of foreign nations, having once inspired Empress Helene of Relay to declare, "Honora Ferelden is a solitary rose among brambles." King Caelan Theron. I hoped for war like in the tales, a king riding with the fabled Great Wardens against a tainted god. Son of the legendary King Merrick Theron, Callan was the first Ferelden king born in the lands free from foreign rule in 2 generations. Since his father's death, he held the throne alongside his queen, Honora. He fell in battle alongside Duncan at Oscar. Okay. Oh right, she's Logain's daughter, he's the king's son. Got it, that's the order. Some of us know what honor and loyalty are. Sir Catherine. Catherine came to Logain's services the hard way. She belonged to a poor family and was out doing work on the farm when she saw a man on horseback being attacked by several bandits. She rushed to his assistance and found out belatedly that the man she saved was none other than the great hero Logain. Though she was hardly more than a child, he took her in, offering her a position with his soldiers, and she climbed through the ranks through sheer determination. Becoming the commander of Merrick's shield, Logain's elite soldiers, was the proudest moment of her life. Oh my gosh. Blue Nose! The Barbary is clever enough to speak and wise enough to know not to, from the proverb. Alyssa's warhound has a pedigree older than Highever, and a perchance for driving cooks to distraction. Yay, Blue Nose. Duncan, men and women from every race, warriors, mages, barbarians, and kings. The Grey Wardens sacrificed everything to stem the tide of darkness. Prevailed. Like many others, Duncan gave up his family's name when he joined the ranks of the Wardens, a symbolic gesture of cutting ties. He might say this was convenience in his case, however. His mother was from Anderfels, his father from Tevinter. His childhood was spent in the free marches and LA. His people were everywhere, and his homeland was nowhere. He was given the impossible task of leading the Wardens of Ferelden, a kingdom that had thrown the older out of 200 years earlier. Facing local suspicion and hostility, he set about finding recruits. He was killed in battle against overwhelming numbers of Darkspawn and Oscar, alongside King Caelan. Oh, Duncan. Earl Eamon Gurin. Nobility does not exist without obligations. We owe all we have, even our lives, to our land and our people. As the maternal uncle of King Caelan, Earl Eamon is one of the king's most trusted advisors. Redcliffe, while not a large or especially wealthy part of Ferelden, is a critical strategic location. The fortress guards the western pass that leads to Orlais, as well as a major trade route with Osmar. As well, a well-respected man, though not the most charismatic, King Caelan once said of him, "My uncle Aemon is a man without thinks well of. It's a man everyone thinks well of when they remember to think of him at all." He fell ill with a mysterious condition that even magic cannot treat. Flemeth. You are required to do nothing, least of all believe. Ages ago, legend says that Ban Conobar took to wife a beautiful young woman who harbored a secret talent for magic, Flemeth of Highever, and for a time they lived happily until the arrival of a young poet, Ossian, who captured ladies' hearts with his verse. They turned to Cassine tribes for help and hid from Conobar's wrath in the wilds until word came to them that Conobar lay dying. His last wish was to see Flemeth's face one final time. The lovers returned, but it was a trap. Conobar killed Austin and imprisoned Flemeth in the highest tower of the castle. In grief and rage, Flemeth worked a spell to summon a spirit into this world to wreak vengeance upon her husband. Vengeance she received, but not as she planned. The spirit took possession of her, turning Flemeth into abomination. A twisted, battered creature, she slaughtered Conobar and all his men and fled back into the wilds. For 100 years Flemeth plotted, stealing men from Chassin to sire monstrous daughters. Horrific things that could kill a man with fear. The coronation of witches led an army of Chassin from the wilds to strike at the All-Merry tribes. They were defeated by the hero Cormac, and all the witches burned, so they say. But even now the wilders whisper that Flemeth lives on in the marsh, and she and her daughters steal those men who come too near. Morrigan's mother saved the last Grey Warrens from death atop the Tower of Ishal, but just who, or what, Flemeth truly is a mystery. Arl, Rend, and Howe. It will be good to ride in the battle once more, won't it, old friend? The Arling Amarithine winds along the Cenaria's northeastern coast of Freldon. The waking sea is known for its temper, and the storms that sweep in from the warmer northern waters are sudden and brutal. These are the lands of Rend and Howe. He was born during the occupation, and like many of the nobles at the time, joined Prince Merrick rebels. He fought alongside young Bryce Coslin, future tyrant of High Ever, and Lennis Brylan, future Earl of the Southreach, at the bloody Battle of White River. It was the most catastrophic defeat of the entire occupation, in which only 50 rebel soldiers escaped alive. Although he was decorated for valor by King Merrick, Howe's abrasive manners have earned him almost universal dislike amongst his peers. When Bryce sent his men to support the King Oscar, Howe took it as an opportunity to attack High Ever, slaughtering the people there and claiming the land and title as his own. All of him as a House Consulin, only Alyssa survived. Liliana. In the cloister, away from the fuss and the flurry of the cities, I found peace, and in that stillness I could hear the Maker, L.A.'s sister of the Chantry, who can beat the stuffing out of a trained mercenaries, would be notable enough, but one who also claims to have been sent to fight the Darkspawn by the Maker himself is unusual, to say the least. She joins Alistair and Alyssa in Lothering, insisting that she would prove useful. What about Morrigan? We're not going to include Morrigan in this? Okay. Poor Morrigan. Loghain MacTair. Understood this. I will brook no threat to this nation, from you or anyone. Loghain was born a farmer during a time when his country was under foreign occupation. When he was still a boy, he joined the resistance, where his considerable tactical genius quickly became apparent. He became close friends with Prince Merrick, the last true heir of the Freldon throne, and together they led the rebels to drive out the forces of the Lycian Empire. Merrick raised his friend to the nobility. Loghain is now more of a symbol than a man. He represents the Freldon ideals of hard work and independence. During the Battle at Osgard, he fled the field, leaving King Caelin and the Grey Warrens to die. He then returned to Denerim and declared himself the regent to his daughter, Queen Lenora, demanding the Freldon follow him against the Darkspawn, upsetting a great many of fans. Morrigan. Witch of the Wilds? Such idle fancies, those legends. Have you no minds of your own? Of herself, Morrigan says little. She does not deny being a witch of the wilds, but beyond that, everything about her is in question. Her mother claims to be Flemeth. If that's true, the Morrigan... Really? Okay. Might well be the very powerful witch, for the tales of the daughters of Flemeth tell of twisted, monstrous women who can kill a man with fear. She was made to accompany the surviving Grey Warrens, the payment, Flemeth said, for saving the lives of the Tower of Ishal. Ban Tarragon Gurren. The Bannon will not bow to you simply because you demand it. Okay, I have no idea what's going on outside. That's starting to get annoying. Young brother to Arl Aemon of Redcliffe, an uncle of King Caelin. Tankin holds the Banoran of Rainsfere, a tiny province of Redcliffe squeezed between the Frostback Mountains and the Lake Galahad. Ban Tegan avoids the Denerim court except to go hunting with his nephew, and rarely makes himself heard of at the Landsmeet, preferring to leave politics to his brother. Win. I will not lie motionless in a bed with coverlets up to my chin, waiting for death to claim me. Wayne's talent became apparent early on, particularly her skill at healing magic. She was well liked by all her mentors and was recognized as an exceptionally gifted student. Even the Templars who watched her could not deny that she represented the best the circle had to offer. She was an intelligent young woman who possessed a quiet confidence and maturity beyond her years. She spent many years mentoring apprentices within the circle, and her peers thought so highly of her that she was asked to be First Enchantress Irving's successor, but she refused, saying that she had no desire to work in the upper echelons. When word reached the tower of King Kaelin's call to arms, Wynne volunteered to go to Ostagar. Notes. Oh, forgot to close this. Just one. A note from Sir Henrik. So many of my fellow knights have been searching for the urn. Surely one of them must have found Brother Genevieve by now. Still, until I hear that all is well, I must proceed as planned. Brother Genevieve holds the key to finding the urn of secret ashes. We always knew this, but I believe I now know where Brother Genevieve lies. I've been to his home in Denerim and found the trail, and I am amazed that other knights have not done it likewise. Unless they have? No, it is best not to get caught up in the thoughts of conspiracy. Sir Donald awaits my report in Lothering. I must go to him immediately and report what I have learned. Should anyone find these random links, all I ask is that he be informed of my fate. I pray that he complete what I cannot. A note from Sir Heinrich of Redcliffe. I'm sure you guys do not care about controls, so I'll read these on my own some other times. If you guys do care about controls, say something in the comments, and the next time I do this, I will read all of them. Quest related. Letters from Blackstone Irregulars. A letter written in careful script addressed to you. To the inevitable Grey Warden, your deed has spread since the tragedy of Oscar. I find myself in need of one such as you. I am Reliner, captain of venerable, Blackstone Regulars, and I hope to win your trust. The Regulars have come on hard times since the War of the Lay, but I have fought to improve their reputation. Gone are the days of my father's shady deals with unscrupulous nobles in Denerim. No, I have trained a guild filled with honorable men ready to fight for Elnyn, and I'm proud to say that I have seen your own Grey Warrens as a sort of model. We are not perfect. My own son advocates a move back to the more lucrative way my father ran the guild, but we are steadfast. It is in this context that I ask for your help. I promise we will reward you accordingly. Should you be willing, please find letters in this box and others like it all over the land and carry out the request therein. For this matter, consider a request from my son as they came from myself. And thank you again, from the bottom of my heart, whether you choose to assist us or not. You are doing the Maker's work, Warden, and I am honored to work with you. Ralinar. This letter is marked with the seal of Blackstone Regulars. Blackstone letter prescription. Dear friend, you're receiving this letter because you or someone else placed your name on an article of inscription, thereby pledging your life to the Blackstone Regulars. With war looming on the fronts, the Regulars must build their numbers. We are forced to call upon those who have sworn their assistance to make good on their oaths. Say farewell to your friends and family. While you may return to them, you must prepare them for the possibility this will be your last day together. Your sacrifice is appreciated. Terwin. This letter is marked with the seal of Blackstone Regulars. Pinch of Ashes. Torn from a book on local myths and legends. Coruscant wilds are rifled with legends and myth, and have amazed and confounded scholars since the fall of Oscar in ancient times. No such mystery lies behind the tales of Astia and Duburn, two young lovers who lived in Ostagar. The legend says that Astia grew up in the company of Gazarath, spirit of the earth bound to an overhang on the bank of a lake in the Coruscant wilds. Gazarath began to fancy her, and they spent much of their days together, talking and laughing. Over the years, however, Astia became a woman and began to seek the company of men. When Astia met Nuberner, the two fell in love, and Astia hoped to bring her lover to see her spirit friend. But the spirit, angered and jealous, bade her begone. Gazarath told her that she would never see it again until she brought her lover's ashes and sprinkled them over their spot. Astia was horrified, and she fled from the enraged spirit, but she began to miss Gazarath, and the day Nuber asked her to marry him, she cut her beloved's throat, burned him, and brought his ashes to Gazarath, knowing that Their marriage would forever sever her ties to her dear spirit friend. There are legends among the Cassian, the Gazaroth, still haunts the lake. And those who sprinkle the ashes of the deceased over the right spot can summon the spirit. In memory of the contract, with its beloved Astia, Gazaroth will grant a single wish and then vanish, never to be heard from again. A note is scribbled in the margin between the page. Marcus, I think this is real. You take the ashes I gave you and scatter them over a pile of rocks in Horaheim, overlooking the half-sunken Tampina dome. Maybe Gazaroth will appear and give you a wish. The battle takes you there. I think it's worth a try. Well, that is all the things that are there to be read. I'm sorry for how long this episode was. I'm sorry for the noise outside, and I'm sorry for the fact that my cold decided to come back and make it hard to speak. Anyways, that's it for you. If you stuck around this long, I hope you have a great day. Goodbye.